Okay, hello and welcome to episode 2 of match betting tutorial using OddsMonkey. If you remember from the first episode, I went through halfway through the Sky Bet tutorial 4 here, which I'm circling. So I'll just show you. So I've actually started the Betfred one as well. Sorry, I've backed and laid the qualifying bet. Remember, it's kind of two parts where we back and lay a qualifying bet to qualify for the free bet when you're signing up to these. We'll go through the Betfred one in a second, but I just want to show you the end of the Sky Bet one because I'd actually said I was going to try and get on a horse race I think on Sunday afternoon, but I think I actually ended up just doing what I said in the previous video where I'll just put a bet on the Barcelona game football match. So if I show you that one by going into the tools odds matcher, and if we go into the profit tracker here by clicking on that, you can see I've made £16. It was 16.31 at the top there, but this just shows whole numbers, which is fine. And you can see here, you remember in the last video I put a bet, I placed the first free part of the free bet, which was a £10. If you remember, Sky Bet were giving you £20 worth of free bets, and you could split them 10 and 10, which works out handy for the liability in your exchange, because if you put a £20 bet on in one go, you need a lot more liability, especially if the odds are higher. And really, for these free bets, the higher odds you can go, the better, because you're going to get more profit back from. You're going to get more return for your £10 or £20 free bets. So you can see from this £10 free bet, I made £8.42 profit, and from this £10 free bet, I made £8.18 profit. So you add those two together, which is £16.60, and I take off the 17p for the loss for the qualifying bet, which takes it down to £16.43p if my maths is right. And that's if you remember from the Sky tutorial, you should be making a profit of about £16. So it's spot on, done a little bit better, which is always quite satisfying, really. So you can see, ignore the Sky Vegas one, that was just a free bet. I did actually have two others, but I've taken them back out because I thought they were 10p cash wins, but they were actually 10p casino bonus wins. I went on the casinos and spent both those 10p's and won nothing, so I've just removed them because I haven't actually lost anything, I haven't made anything, so I've just removed them, which is great in here because you just come in and you can just click on them and delete them. Once you've clicked open, yeah, you can delete them. So you can see the ones with the green ticks in here are all settled. So moving up these last two, this you can see here, this is the Betfred one I've placed, so I'll go through this. We're talking, what's the day today? We are actually Tuesday the 8th of March is today. So this football game is tonight. It's about, you can see from the time there, it's getting on for midday on Tuesday the 8th. And this match is being played tonight. So you can see I'm on for a loss here of 11p. Now, even before balls kicked on the match bet, and this is why people say it isn't gambling. Even before balls kicked, I know I'm going to lose 11p from this match tonight. It doesn't matter the outcome, if Middlesbrough win, if Sheffield United win, or if it's a draw. I mean, assuming as long as the match has taken place. But otherwise, you would just get your money back from both bets would be void from both of these if it didn't take place, or if it was abandoned for whatever reason. Even after it's kicked off, you would find that these two, the bookie and the exchange, would void the game and you'd get your money back from both. So you would just then check out Betfred and make sure you're okay to put your £10 qualifying bet back on, which I'm assuming they would let you do it. It's going to be very rare instances where that happens, although it did happen a bit recently due to the pandemic, but we're fingers crossed we seem to be past that now, so all these games are actually happening. So if I just look at this one in more detail, you can see here, if I open the bet up, you can see here I put £10 on the back bet with Betfred at odds of 2.1, and then I laid that was for Sheffield United to win, and then I laid against Sheffield United to win, i.e. draw or Middlesbrough win, and I had to put £10 10p on that lay bet at odds of 2.1 again, and that's where the difference comes in. So I'm going to lose, if Sheffield United win and the back bet wins, I'll lose 11p, and the winners will go into the Betfred account. If Sheffield United don't win, then I will lose 10p. I'll lose 10p on the exchange, the Betfair exchange, but the winnings will go into the Betfair exchange, if that makes sense. I'll get £9.90 paid in the Betfair exchange because I put £10 10p in. The reason, you might think I'm backing at 2.1 and I'm laying at 2.1, that should be £10 and £10, and the profit should actually be 0. Now that would hold true if the commission was 0, but Betfair are charging a commission of 2% for me at the moment. So I'll stand to lose 10p, which is basically the commission, because if I'm backing and laying at the same price, then your estimated profit, you should break even at 0, and that would be true if you had like a 0% commission exchange, which you can get on like Smarkets and Matchbook, and we'll be getting onto that later on in the tutorial, I suspect. In fact, I think the next tutorial on the OddsMonkey is signing up for a Smarkets account, but we'll cover that in future videos. So all I need to do later on tonight, after this match is finished, about 10 or even tomorrow morning, I can click on settle bet here, and then I just say, I just highlight one of these. Did Sheffield United win? No, then I'll lose 10p. And if Sheffield United win, I just click on that one and I'll lose 11p. And then you click on settle this bet. So let's cancel out that at the moment. And this is where you can actually delete the bet if, like I mentioned earlier, that I've deleted a couple. So when you do update that and settle the bet, it updates this number here, so that'll stay at 11p, minus 11, or it'll go to minus 10p. It'll always, before the bet's settled, it'll always take the worst case scenario and say you've lost 11p, include it in your figures up here. So if that changes to 10p, all the better, even though it's only a penny. So yeah, that's the Betfred tutorial where I'm up to. Once that bet's settled later tonight at 10 o'clock, within sort of 48 hours, Betfred should give me £30 worth of free bets, which then will be in future tutorials where we can actually start placing those free bets, and it'll look more bigger positive numbers. So I think with Betfred you get £30, so I will be looking to make at least £25 from that. I think the tutorial, if I go back to the tutorial, it says you should be looking at making 24. I like to try and get sort of 75% to 80 even. So on a £5 free bet, I'd be looking at £4. You can't find them. It's a case of whether you want to wait or whether you want to just stick something straight on, and whether you're happy taking the highest, because the highest profitable ones, there's less value for the bookies, so they're more likely to go up your account. But I'll show you through some of the selections side. I'm not sure if I've done that in the first video or not, but in the odds matcher, when you go in, I'll show you with the Betfred £30, I'll show you how I pick them from this list. Obviously that's showing all the bookies there, well, all bookies in the tutorial, which is only a handful there. But obviously when you go premium and you pay, which I will do, and I'll continue this series of videos, we'll take you through bets and how I would work on a day-to-day basis after the tutorial. So if I just go back to the profit tracker, just to end this video, you can see this little bet here. I've got minus 31p, which is my biggest loss bet at the moment. That was Tottenham Everton, and I put a bet on the draw. Now that was last night's game, and basically if I open this up, you'll see that in the notes I put this was a bet £5 get £5, and basically what that is, that Sky Bet giving existing customers, because I'm now an existing customer, I've done the free sign up, bet £5, was that bet 5 or 10, I can't remember, and you get 20. I've done that. So what they start doing then is giving you what they call reload offers in the match betting terminology. It's called a reload offer. Now their offers, it's not a sign up offer, but it's an existing customer offer, so they're called reload offers. And these are the straightforward bet and get ones. They're called bet and get. So you bet X amount and you get X amount free. You don't get as cash. You get, so when it says yeah, bet 5, get 5. Basically what you're doing there is you're putting a £5 bet on, and you get a £5 free bet. So the same principle applies as when you sign up. Basically with the bet £5, you're trying to minimize your loss, so you get as low a loss as possible. And then when you get your £5 free bet, you then try and maximize your £5 free bet. So remembering back to the initial video, for betting a £5 bet, I'd be looking as low as like a 10p loss up to a 25p loss. And then when I get my £5 free bet, I'll be looking at a £3.50 plus up to £4 or sometimes over £4 gain. So then your gain would be £4 and you minus off your say 25p, so you're making a profit of £3.75 on the total package, on the total bet and get. You can see here I ran at a loss of 31p, which is a little bit higher than I would normally have, but I mean maximum sort of 25p, and I lost 31 pence on this one, but that was purely because it was the quickest and lowest price I could find. I tend to look at like the main 3 outcomes of the match to start with, and if anything's close to 25 pence, I'll just put it on rather than spend more time looking for something a bit more obscure to try and get it down to the 25 pence or under. So as an example of that, I looked at like say Spurs winning, Everton winning, and the draw came out with minus 31 pence. So I just put it on and moved on, rather than spend like a fortune. Sorry, not a fortune, sorry, rather than spend a lot of time wasted looking at other things like over and under 2.5 goals, a team winning at half time and full time. I could have probably got under the 31 pence, but probably not by a great deal, maybe 5 or 10p. And don't get us wrong, they all add up when you're doing like hundreds of bets. They do all, the differences, the variance between 25p and 31p will add up over your lifetime, but you've got to weigh up the time you spend on it against, actually getting it done. So anyway, I put that on knowing that 31 pence is fine. I would have probably went up anything to 50 pence, because even taking the 50 pence off, say when I get the free bet of £5, which I've actually already got, which I'll show you, I'm then looking to make, like I say, anything from £3.50 plus, and even if you take the £3.50 minus say a massive loss of 50p, I say a massive loss, but 50p is 50p, you're still getting a total profit on this bet and get of £3. So you can see here that if the draw had come in with the bookies, then I would lose 29p. If the draw didn't happen, then I'll lose 31. So in this case, Spurs absolutely twonked Everton 5-0. So it wasn't a draw. So the lay bet won because I backed against the draw. So if I can click on settle bet here, and it says here, what was the outcome? Was it a draw or did one team win? Well, one team won here, so you can see the 29 pence there if it had been a draw. If I click on that to settle the bet, it changes to minus 31, which is what was in here anyway down here. So I can just click on settle this bet. So it's saying bet is already settled for a loss of minus 31 pence. So if I close this window now, you can see a little green tick's been put in there, and I'm up to date apart from this bet here, which is this match is taking place tonight. So because I've lost 31 pence in, it was bet and get, bet £5, get £5. Sky Bet do these offers quite often. Might be a Monday night. They do different things during the week, and you'll find that with all bookies. Some bookies, you'll have bookies doing different offers, but there's always something to look at and do. So even when you've done all the sign-up offers, there's all these little things you can jump on in the meantime as well while you're doing the sign-up offers. The idea though is to get used to it and do the sign-up offers through the tutorial and not do these little side bets. You can do these later. Once you've finished the sign-up offers, you'll learn how to do reload offers. So I'd say as a bit of advice, stick to the sign-up offers first. I'm only doing these because I know I can, because I've been doing match betting now for a few months, 3 or 4 months. So I'm used to doing these, so there's no reason for me to ignore them at the moment. But what I'd recommend doing, if it is your first time doing it, just do the sign-up offers. It's go through the OddsMonkey tutorial, do the sign up off as it's telling you. And I'm also not doing a very, the other thing is take your time if you need to. You can do them as quick or as slow as you want, but it's less profitable doing them slower. But you might have to do them slower because of your bankroll. You might only be able to put one bet on at a time because you might have a lower bankroll. You might only have, say, £50 or £100 in the exchange, your Betfair exchange account, and that's fine. Take your time, and it means you do less mistakes. Once you get used to it, you can speed up. I mean, when I was doing my first offers, I was doing 3 or 4 sign-up offers at a time, and there is sometimes a bit of, you can get yourself confused if you're doing that many, because you'll have this list will be a lot bigger here. You'll not. You need to keep a good track or a good diary, even just a notepad note of, where you're up to. Have you done a qualifying bet for one bookies? Where you're up to on each bookie kind of thing. Have you done the free bet? Are you waiting for them to settle? It's a lot easier and straightforward if you just do one at a time. So you see how I worked through the Sky bet, completed it, and now I'm on the Betfred. It's going to take longer. So you can see here I started on the 1st. It's now it's the 8th today. Is that the 8th or the 6th? 6th. Oh no, I placed that bet on the 6th. Sorry, it is the 8th. There's the event date. I'm looking at the wrong column. Yeah, you see I created that bet a couple of days ago now, and I'm having to wait because I'm doing one at a time. I'm doing everything sequential. I'm having to wait. So, I'm waiting 2 days and doing no action, although I did stick this in, but I wouldn't recommend doing that to start with anyway. Once you're experienced, you can start, you will be doing all the reload offers. Also, some of the sign up offers get a bit more tricky as well. Like for example, you might have to put, there might be different rules and regulations and conditions of the offer. So the tutorials do take you through the easy ones first, and then when you do sign up, you'll get more easy ones, and they get progressively more difficult. And that just gives you more education and training on how to do them. So for example, some of the sign up offers might be around accumulators where you have to put like 3 or 4 matches on and multiples, but it takes you through all. I'm not going to go into that now. Just be wary that some of the sign up offers will get more and more difficult. These first few are the most straightforward you can get. But even when you do sign up, they still stay pretty straightforward. It's just at a certain point you run out of the straightforward ones and they become a bit more complicated. But once you've grasped the straightforward ones, it gives you much more knowledge into actually transitioning into the more complex ones. So what I was going to show you here is, because I've done this bet down here, the reload, I'll just continue with the reload for just to cover it off really. So I put this £5 bet on to get a free bet. So if I look at my Sky account, you can see up here I've actually got a free bet available of £5, and that's as a result of putting that bet on the Tottenham and Everton game last night. If I click on that, you can see I've got a £5 bet with no expiry, so I can use that whenever I want. So what I'll do quickly now is just try and use it, as long as this is live. Actually, what I'll do now, so I'll try and use it. I'll not put the bet on, but I'll show you how to use the odds matcher. So what I would do in here is I'd go in the odds matcher and I would filter by Sky. So I'd look at Sky bet there, and it gives me it'll come back with close matches. So you can see there I've got ratings here. Now we need to be concentrating on this column, the SNR. That stands for stake not returned, because it's a £5 free bet. I'm not putting the £5 down to the bookies and saying here's me £5. And if I get odds of like say 2 to 1, they'll give me £10 back plus the £5 bet. They'll just give me the £10 back. That you don't get your stake returned, so it's stake not returned. So what you need to be looking at here is the highest percentage. So if you click on SNR column here, it'll sort them by highest percentage. Now you can see the top 5 are horse races, and they're happening today. The only issue you might have is, see that 101%, that's potentially an error. That's corrected itself, so you can bet it, you can back it at 17 to 1 on Sky Betting, and late at 16.5. Now the closer the race is to the current time, it's 12 now, this race is at 5-5, so those odds are probably just slightly out. The bookie might adjust itself, but if I click on this eye here, you'll see a problem with this 17-1. Even if I put a £5 bet on, so you'd make sure that was £5 bet there, which it is. You would click on free bet stake not returned there, and then you would look at these numbers. And you see, even for a £5 bet, I need a liability of 75 pounds 18p, which means I need 75 pounds 18p in the exchange, because if this horse goes on to win and I've laid it not to win, even though it's 17-1, I need to pay. I'm acting as the bookie, so I need to pay the punter £75 who matched my lay bet. It's 16.5-1. But obviously, if that does happen and the horse has won, then I win the money in the bookies. I would win £17.5, whatever that is. Showing my online live calculations. Yeah, it's actually written down here. I'd win £80. So obviously you don't get your stake returned. So that's. I could go and make sure I can click on there, and I could have a look to see if that horse was still 17-1. I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to lay the bet at the moment. I'll come back to that in the next video when I have laid it. I could potentially go down to this. Oh, sorry, one thing I was going to show in there, because that's 95% stake not returned. What that means is if I put £100 on free bet, I'd get £95 back. If I put £10 free bet on, I'd get £9.50 back. So £9.51.5, so £9.52. So obviously if I'm putting my £5 free bet on, I'm getting half of that, £9.52. So if I just go back into that, click on free bet stake not returned, you can see I would get £4.75 of the £5, which is really high. But that's obviously because this is red. You shouldn't really back on these red ones because they're like what's called ARB bets, and the bookies can always suss out that you're just doing that all the time. So if I had done ARB bets all the time with Sky Bet, they'd soon realise that I'm doing that and probably block my account. Now you go bit. This one's quite interesting because it's a football match, and again I've been betting on football matches on Sky Bet, so it's probably either worth sticking on that or, you know, gradually getting yourself into something else. I would recommend high profile events, and also maybe just football and horse racing. Horse racing is always a good one to get in because there's always opportunities, and as long as bookies knows you're betting on both and you're not doing obscure matches or races like that one, for example, down here, Melbourne City versus MacArthur, it's in the Australian Soccer League. I wouldn't bet on that normally, not certainly throughout the English season, but maybe when it's close season and the Aussie well, actually that's Australian. Is that Australian football or whatever? I wouldn't put money on that. I think the Australian football picks up when during our summer months, when our season closes. You need to find things to bet on in our summer month when there's no football. But like I say, this one's an interesting one because I would go for anything SNR over 80. So like an 80 SNR is 80%. So that's where you're still going to get £4 off your fiver. You're going to get £8 off your tenner, and you're going to get £80 off your 100. So if I click on this Barnsley Fulham game, that's telling you back Barnsley, because obviously they're the underdogs, so that odds are going to be higher. So you can see there they're 7-1 to win that match on Sky Bet. This has actually brought up Smarkets, which I haven't got an account set up yet, so I'd have to go to a Betfair account, so I'd probably have to back on that one. But I'll just show you this one as an example. So it's 81%. So out of your if you go to the calculator and you click on your free bet, make sure it's still £5 there, you can see I'm still making over £4. So I'd be quite happy to take that on and back on that one, and that's the one I would actually, if I was actually placing a bet now, that's the one I'd actually place. What I'm going to do is leave them placing a bet until the next video. So when I do release the next video, I'll show you how I'm placing the bet, but it'll probably be on my Betfred free account, not this one. But you can see there you're still going to get over £4, which I'm quite happy about, and it's not top of the list, so it's less likely to fall foul of the Sky Bet and the rules and regulations on what they're looking for to sort of it keeps your account healthy. The further down you better, but obviously the further down you go, the less profit you're going to make. But even if you, like I say, even if you went down to one that was 75%, so that one there, all the way down the list of 75%, you're still going to get your £3.78. So your 75% is £3.75, which is still okay for a £5 bet because it's guaranteed money. You're not gambling, you're just collecting as much as you can from your £5 free bet. And that's the way match betting works, basically. So I'm going to leave it at that for this one. Just go back to the tutorial, just show you. Oh, actually, what I will do before close is just show you the bet I've got on for tonight. So the Betfred fee bet. You can see here, I actually laid at 2.1. If you remember, I backed at 2.1. I laid at 2.1. This is the Betfair exchange. The actual odds have moved out now, so I could only lay now 2.2. This has come through as two bets here within a minute of each other. Two lay bets within a minute of each other because the odds had slightly moved out to 2.12 or 2.14, I think, as I placed the bet, or just before I placed the bet. So the first amount of money, the first £3.58 or the £6.52, I can't remember which was first. Might be the bottom one. I don't remember which, but one of them settled before the other, and then there wasn't enough money left at that price. So there was. That's one thing you do need to keep an eye on the exchange, and I'll go into that as well in future videos where your bet doesn't get matched. So you're laying a bet at 2.1 if there's not enough money in the market at that price, and the price has already moved out. So for example, if I put a £10 lay bet in now, 2.1, it wouldn't match because the price is 2.2. So you just need to be careful of that. And another thing, because this price has moved out, you can see up here, I could cash out my lay bet for a 36p profit already, and that's got me interested in something called Betfair trading, which is something I'm going to look at in more detail in a future series of videos. So subscribe to the channel and like this video, and you'll be notified of any future videos where we'll be looking at Betfair trading and the pros and cons of it compared to match betting. It's just another sort of skill to learn, which I'll go into in more detail in, like I say, in future videos. So anyway, that's the lay side of my Betfred bet from this tutorial here. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did like it, please click the thumbs up button. It just helps the channel grow and gets more people watching these videos, if it's been of any use. So thanks very much. Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you. Bye.